All right, thank you for staying with us. There's so many questions coming through. We'll try and sneak in a few of them really quick as we take our closing remarks from our guests. Let's see what you're saying here. I see there's a question from Ben Okita, who says, can I get comments by the panelists regarding wildlife habitat connectivity affected by infrastructure development, say roads and fences in Tsavo and in the Mara? Dr. Mundi.
Yes, Trevor, I think we've had a challenge of balance between infrastructure and conservation. And I think it's because of the growing human population and also the way we zone our land. And I think there's a deliberate attempt to develop ecosystem conservation plans that will be able to zone where to do the development and which development you can do, and also to mitigate against the impact of those development. Of course, with the land use plan and gazetted by the cabinet secretary, that so far for Amboseli, for example, we should then be able to guide development moving forward. So it's only that the agencies involved in licensing of infrastructure and those that works in conservation just need to work together, so that before infrastructure comes, then we give them information, particularly from science point of view, where animals cross, where are these corridors, and before the infrastructure. You know, after infrastructure is difficult. So just more people working together will be key moving forward. But to address it, we are addressing through ecosystem wide management plans, which then is gazetted and become law, so that nobody does something that is incompatible with what should be in that ecosystem.
There's another question here for you from John Broderick. It says, could you please ask if they are planning to use the same counting techniques for counting water birds?
The water birds, John, I think will be done differently. I think we have standards. We'll be working with the National Museums of Kenya, the Ornithology Department. We'll do ground census. There's a way the ornithologists count birds. We have designed it along the Rift Valley lakes, Lake Victoria, and in all our water bodies. So that is a separate methodology. It will be a ground, not aerial. And there's a way bird specialists count birds, and that's the method we are going to use.
Willis Aula says there is a challenge of deforestation and climate change that affects the wildlife conservations. What is the government policy or legal framework on curbing this challenge? Yes.
Well, first of all, we have allocated some money for afforestation, planting of trees. Again, the issue of making sure that there is water ponds for our animals so that we don't get death because of lack of water. That's why 2017 was a really difficult year for KWS and our parks, because over 400 elephants died out of drought, when we can't afford that to happen. So we are looking at that. We want to do dredging of those lakes, like for example the Aruba Lake in Tsavo, and the water bodies in Tsavo as well. How do we bring water in the national park? But also, how do we bring water also the national park so that we don't get invasion by cattle herders or communities to come into the park?
There's another question here that keeps coming. Jonathan Wamusioka, and I think this goes to Wanyonyi, saying, why have you ignored driver guides who place very important roles in guiding our tourists and helping in conservation? Why are they ignored? Are they ignored?
No, actually, they're not ignored. Remember, they are our important connection to our parks. And a number of things have been done. As you remember, last year, when we were reviewing the rates, was it actually gazetted a reduction of the pay for the driver guides? And so that is one consideration. The second part, we actually doing a training program for them as part of incentive. Because what you also want to do, you know, they play a very important role. You can imagine a driver guide seeing a warthog and telling a guest it's a small rhino. It will be very bad. So what we've been trying to do with them is undertaking undertaking some training programs with them. But what we also, as part of our engagement program and part of collaboration, we continue to engage with them and finding out how do we improve also for them in terms of their experience and accessibility to our parks. So they've not been ignored. They are an important partner to us that we'll continue to work with.
But probably I want to say here, I think there is an opportunity for us to involve driver guides for Nairobi National Park. Sometimes you can enter Nairobi National Park, you can get lost, you don't know where to sight the animals, you don't know how to get the descriptions of animals, and probably this partnership that Edwin is talking about is that there's training, but also there's facilitation for them to come in and do the driver guides. For example, do we need to allow everybody to come with their cars in Nairobi National Park? We need to think about it. I don't say we stop it, no. We think about it. So how do we engage that it is all guided tours at the same time? Because I will prefer, if there is a vehicle in front of the gate, there's a professional guide in that area, and I'm with my family, I prefer to leave my car at the parking lot and take a driver guide so I can be able to learn and get a better experience, rather of me driving all over the place and getting lost or getting no knowledge added to my trip. So these are the things we are going to think about it and see, can we work with them? Yes, we can work with them.
All right. Dr. Mondi, there's a question from Jacob Abere Matlala, who says, is wildlife sensors going to give accurate data? Are they going to give us accurate numbers of hedgehogs in an ecosystem, for example, in northern parks? Is this going to be extremely spot on, or is there a margin of error?
Of course, we are dealing with the wild animals. They are not domesticated animals. There must be some margins of error. But we'll have at least a baseline that hedgehogs are in northern Kenya. And that informs now investment into finding more details in getting that figure more accurate, but at least you'll have a confirmation that they exist. Because it's a repeat, there will be a repeat, and you have a baseline, it will inform now what else do you do to ensure that they survive, their habitat is protected, and the species now prosper. If the range is almost lost, maybe it's been subdivided and the hedgehog is there, then we decide move it into a protected area. So that is why this census is very, very important. And I'm hoping that the Kenyans get interested, where we will involve citizen science in ground census. Let them reach out and be involved so that they become part of this history.
All right, we're running out of time here. I'll just like to get closing remarks, and I'll start with you, Edwin. There's a question about what should someone do the moment there's an animal that is in their area. When they've been attacked by an elephant, what do they do first? Do they go to the police? Do they call you? What do they do?
So what we have a toll-free line that you can actually be able to call. However, under the normal system currently, you know, we have interagency collaboration. So they can be able to report to the nearest station, whether it's a police or anywhere, but then they will get in touch with our KWS teams. We have our KWS teams across the country, and so we are quick to respond. So we are available, and we will be able to share our toll-free line. They can visit our website. That detail is available. But as you said, this is my closing. I just want to mention that in this new normal, or in the current COVID times, I just want again to reassure our guests to our parks that we are observing all the health protocols. Our parks are the safest and the coolest places to be. You have fresh air, you have all these facilities, you have wildlife. Please come and experience what we have in our parks.
All right. Dr. Mondi, by the way, when are you planning to conclude this entire exercise as you make your closing remarks?
Yes, thanks, Trevor. I think for me, I want to call on our partners to join in this exercise. One, we are going at the end to establish a national wildlife database. Historically, that has been scattered with everybody. With the establishment with the new institute, the Wildlife Research and Training Institute, the law provides that we have a national database with all data there. Even what was raised that we can miss, people could have information. I want to call on all the partners, provide that information as part of this process, so that we include it in this national data wildlife status report, so that at the end of it, we'll have a national wildlife database. We are also investing in the database infrastructure, so that we'll be able to compare when we do the next cycle of census. Secondly, we anticipate, and you know, as I said, weather is very erratic, and we had a timeline of July 31st, but our waziri is here. I think it is flexible if we cannot count because weather is bad. Like I was told by the marine experts, there are certain periods that they have to do it because of the waves. So we'll just reach out, and the thing is, we need to get it right. We want to get the best out of this exercise. And finally, it's just to call on Kenyans wherever you are. This is the first time we are doing a national wildlife census. We've done elephants, we've done rhinos, but counting the entire country is a big plus for the government. Let them reach out when they hear we are in their area. We are counting Roma Park. They reach out, and we'll be able to see how we can involve them in the entire technical process. Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, over to you, as he asked for extension of time on live review.
Thank you very much, Trevor. I think this is a good opportunity that we want to think out of the box. We want to be innovative. The new norm. We cannot do the things the same way we used to do them. We did good things. We want to do them even better. And because we have an open door policy, we invite everybody to participate with us. And really, we don't object to criticism. We are open. We are public servants. We want to learn more. Reach out to all of us. And if there are people who love conservation, it's not only a few people, but all of us. We are part of that commitment in conserving our wildlife and our ecosystems as well. So we are committed, and government, you can see, is investing heavily. For the first time, we depended a lot on donor funding, but also we appreciate our partners. We get a lot of support, but also this time, the government is taking the lead, because this is not just about foreigners. This is about our own heritage. We need to preserve it. And we will do everything, as I'm concerned, to preserve and conserve our wildlife. So yes, we appreciate all the inputs, and we want to clarify whenever there is an issue. And we are here to clarify. We have an open door policy anytime. Thank you.
Thank you so much for making time this morning. Honorable Najib Balala, CS Tourism and Wildlife, Edwin Wanyonyi, Director Strategy, Kenya Wildlife Service, and Dr. Patrick Omondi, Acting Director, Wildlife Research Training Institute. Thank you so much for all the feedback here. We couldn't sneak in all of them. There are so many, but I see even that there's a trend there on Count to Conserve. That is the hashtag that you use, right? That I heard you say that in Shimba Hills. So that is still on the census.
Yes.
All right. That's why we leave it for now. Willis Raburu is up next with Workout, right? My name is Trevor Mbija. Always a pleasure having you with us. See you in a bit. I always don't work out. It's Willis who does it. So it's coming up.